I don't know what that sound is, but there appears to be some sort of sound. Friends, welcome to episode 19, season 3 of Warhammer 40K, Rogue Trader, Strings of Fate. If you were watching live, there were some crashes. Ignore them. Pretend they didn't happen. I'm also linking art in Twitch chat right now, and the artist for Androchiron. It's still being worked on. For all I know, he'll be dead by the time the color version comes out, but that's pretty good.
Is it going to come out before the end of the episode?
No, very unlikely.
It took me a second to process what you asked there, James.
Wow. I don't know why all my characters always feel such threatening positions.
I don't know.
Nobody, no one's ever like, wow, gonna kill Dawn tonight. You know what I mean? Like,
Dawn's a living saint.
But with Nero, it's always like, well,
Dawn.
Nero's arm's half hanging on right now.
James didn't want to kill Nero. He just wanted the arm.
He's never gonna
really
get it at this point.
To be fair, Dawn's literally got plot armor now, so like, pretty sure James has told me, hey, look, if you die, you just have to have enough willpower to come back. I'm like, all right.
Sure, you only have to fight thousands of demons naked in the warp and never lose your faith.
How do you think, what do you think willpower is, man? Come on.
A stat?
No. It's how many naked demons you could fight.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Pretty much have the highest willpower you could possibly have on character creation. So,
I'm taking a chance tonight with when I was trying to work out what opponent I wanted to use for a scene tonight. I was really prevaricating over the fact that there was one that felt like too little, but one that felt like too much. And I've decided to go with the one that felt like too much and just roll the dice on this one.
Great.
Well, because you know, like Don will cut it in half, and then Adrian will punch the pieces that's left, and then Androchiron will skewer them to a wall with his force bolts.
I
Like,
feel like today,
Am I just standing there and
Androchiron's just
watching?
gonna
Like,
be-
yes, good job.
It's more the fact that you're all like half dead already from wounds and stuff.
Well, that's certainly true.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
You could take it down a notch today, man. You don't need to.
So, Pondo, I've played a captain in a space game before with Arthur. The key to being useless as a captain is to also be suicidal, right? Like, those are the two things you need to combine in order to be like a proper captain.
Yeah, I think
Because-
that's the reason why my character doesn't do a lot of damage, because I'm supposed to actually do melee. And I was like, I probably shouldn't be suicidal as the captain, so I'll just use pistols. Now I'm at the point where
You just got to get up there and stab it, man.
yeah. Now I'm at the point where like, well, pistols don't do anything else. I'm using Inferno pistols.
You gotta smuggle kyber crystals up your butt, man. You gotta do crazy shit. Come on, man.
I don't know if that's necessary, but all right.
Oh my god.
Little bit different situation. I would
Jesus,
say.
everything with Nile, where you guys were like, yes, we've adopted this like 13-year-old girl. We're going to teach her to be a thief. And I was like, all right, that's fine. And then they were like, all right, now, sweetie, remember to kill your enemies. And I was like, you what?
Hey, I don't think that was me. I'm pretty sure that was
there
someone
were
else.
other people present while you were teaching her. You taught her a wide array of skills and philosophies, many of which would be horrifying.
Wasn't part of that also Virgil? Because wasn't he an assassin droid?
Yeah.
I only partially remember is because the EC collision where
Yeah.
that was brought back full circle.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you haven't seen the series, Virgil does an excellent job of being a janitor droid who slowly learned to become an assassin over thousands of years.
He struggled so hard with that character too. Like, I just remember him being like, man,
He struggled
droids.
mechanically
yeah,
because
he was like,
droid
fuck
characters are only good at creation in Star Wars. And the longer the game goes on, the more difficult it is to overcome the fact that their initial stats are boosted and everything after that will suck for them.
Plus the inevitability of someone in the game, aka me, being like, huh, So that Jedi shit looks pretty tasty right now. And then all the other characters being like, well, I guess the entire game's about fucking the Force now. Like, I wish I knew that before.
No.
Before that was a thing.
Everything was amazing when Virgil was like, and you'll all be sucked out to space. All of us. You'll all be dead. I'll be fine because I'm a droid, but you'll all be dead. It's like, holy shit.
It's been a while since I watched that series, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because the series is like 7.5 years old now.
Fuck off, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it is. It is.
It is. All right, I'll go get it for you.
Don't say that shit.
You know, Phantom Menace came out over 20 years ago.
Yeah, man.
My favorite part about that whole thing was like when I learned that there was a second Death Star inside the show, even though I've watched the movies, I was like, yeah, okay. Good times. Yeah.
All right, let's see here. The first episode of Edge of the Empire Shadows of War was published September 22nd, 2015.
Wait,
7 years ago.
Shadows of War, the hit N64 video game?
No,
with-
Edge of the Empire Shadow of War, the hit AP Gaming Reel
Sorry. Gotcha.
FFG
Okay.
series.
I see.
You don't know how many times we made that joke over the series. It was just like,
With roguish hero Dash Rendar, who is definitely better than Han Solo in
I
every
mean,
way.
they certainly wanted to make him believe that he was.
man, look, Dash Rendar was the best fucking Star Wars character ever invented. All right,
Well, I know
will
that you
die on
believe that.
sword. I will die on that sword, man.
Okay.
Absolutely. He had an IG-88 as his friend. Come on, man. The best thing
better
ever.
ship, like cooler ship than the Millennium
Not the
Falcon.
Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
That's what it was called. It was called Not the Millennium Falcon. Oh God. Yeah.
Why you got a player hate on IG-88? That's all I gotta ask.
Hey man, he and then he killed Boba Fett.
I mean, that's
But
not
he
even
didn't.
remotely canon anymore. Whoever the director of Book of Boba Fett was killed Boba Fett.
I was gonna say, it sounds like that'd be a better fate than what it had.
I think he's
How
in
did he-
Mandalorian season 3.
So how do you go from Mandalorian to that bullshit? You know what I mean? Like how do you do that? Like
Money smuggling.
They tried something new. It doesn't always work out. Listen, as much as I didn't like the Power Rangers, there has been weirder shit in Star Wars before. Sometimes you get a Sebulba, and sometimes you get Ewoks. Okay, those are the scale. All right.
you give
What's
enough
wrong with
time.
Ewoks?
You give enough time. Ewoks
Yes,
became
Ewoks,
okay.
the
so
very reasonable competitor to
the Empire.
Imperial Stormtroopers. Yes, the perfect counteraction.
Ewoks are up there with Rancors, Dianogers, and Wampas as creatures that tried to eat Luke.
I mean, they did they literally ate stormtroopers.
Yeah, man.
You know what?
Ewoks
also,
are carnivores. They're the apex predator of that moon.
if anything's to be believed from the the tabletop role playing game, is that you can put a lot of really cool equipment inside of like a stormtrooper helmet, which makes me feel like.
And they didn't.
But they didn't put. There was literally just like a fucking tin can that they were wearing.
Yeah, man,
with,
it
like, ice on
It was military equipment built by the lowest bidder. Like,
Senior
themselves.
Fleet
Yeah,
Systems would like to
exactly.
know your location right now.
yeah. Should we put life support in this spaceship? Nah, it's good.
I mean, the standard issue pilot suit had enough life support. Why would you need a redundant system?
Yeah.
That's how engineering works. You never include redundant systems on things that involve the lives of people.
No. You do in the first design, and then you get to minimum viable product.
Yeah, exactly. And
How do we make it cheaper?
Something's gotta go.
Well, that was
All
the
right,
Mark
so-
Zero. Let's talk about the Mark One.
Yeah.
We sold you on the Mark Zero, but the Mark One is where the money's at. Sorry, where safety is concerned.
No, I think the Empire is pretty much like, all right, you could do this, or we could make it cheaper by taking out the hyperdrive, the life support system.
Missiles. Like,
Look, it's what's happening right now with Book of Boba Fett is the same thing that happened with the expanded universe of Star Wars. At some point, they just let random people do whatever they want with the fiction, and that's how you get the Ray of Command. This is how you get the marriage of Princess Leia in the same universe as I, Jedi. Okay, all right. Ewoks.
Wait.
Sebulba.
I Jedi. What is I?
And now, Luke, we make you a wife.
Did they ever
you
do
could
anything
do
with-
worse. You could do worse. All right, we're back. We're just talking about the wives of Luke Skywalker, of which there are canonically several, and some of them aren't even spaceships.
Speaking about Star Wars stuff, I was thinking about like the actual acting career of Adam Driver the other day. Like, do you think he's blown up since Star Wars, or was he like did I just never notice him before Star Wars, or like?
You didn't notice him beforehand.
Yeah, I
Some
think
weird
you
shit.
just didn't notice him before.
Yeah,
Star Wars.
because you weren't a teenage girl before Star Wars, Dave. So
Ooh,
probably
he just
what
told
was
you
he
you
in?
ain't a teenage girl. What are you gonna do about it?
Great, I guess. What was he in before Star Wars? Because recently he's been in fucking everything. Like I recently just watched that House of Gucci movie. Wasn't very good, but still, he's fucking in it. Like, he's in a lot of things, you know. Like, and I can't really remember seeing him outside of like, oh, who's this cringy
There's a bunch of drama
emo
stuff for
dude?
HBO.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
his
also in
career-
that. He was also in that marriage TV show, which was quite raw, I would say.
Oh my god! You know what else came out in 2015? Not just Edge of the Empire, Shadow of War, but also Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Oh, guys,
Yeah,
time
so-
keeps on slipping into the future.
Both shows had pink teenage girls in it as starring lead roles. So, like, you know, it's,
I don't know that I would call Daisy Ridley a pink teenage girl, but sure.
what? I mean, okay, hang on. I thought The Force Awakens was like had like that pink haired girl that I've never seen before in it, and she like crashed a spaceship into another spaceship or something.
Oh no, you're talking about The Last Jedi.
Oh, okay.
That was
Holdo, Admiral Holdo.
yeah, Admiral Holdo.
Oh my god.
is,
Well, first off, she's not a girl. I mean, isn't that actress in like her 50s?
Yes,
But she had pink
no,
hair
she's
for
not
some reason.
50s.
Oh, she
but,
did
like,
have
she's up
pink
there.
hair. You
Yes.
nailed it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was
Holdo, Jesus.
oh my god, what is because she was
From
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
God.
Wait, oh my god, was she
I'm
the
gonna-
girl from Jurassic Park?
She
Yeah,
she
it's Laura Dern. Laura Dern's the
Laura
actress.
Dern, yes,
Oh
of
my
course.
god, you're right. Now that I just like merged them in my brain, right? And it's like, yeah, that's the same person.
You're going to be really surprised when you learn about Bryce Dallas Howard then. All right.
The kid that was in Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. My god.
So,
You know, I
Yeah,
used to think Jurassic Park was ridiculous, but now, having lived through the last few years, the idea of a corporation operating with literally no oversight, making the same mistakes over and over again, resulting in the deaths of thousands of people with literally no punishment, doesn't actually surprise me anymore.
Sounds like a good fiction novel. What's it called?
Sounds like a good reality.
It's called 2020, starring Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Oh, we're doing
disaster
Idiocracy
movie.
Part 2, I guess.
Yeah.
Chris Rock as the president of the United States.
All right. So who knows how long intros are anymore? I'm getting fucked by OBS constantly. But I started WWE 2K22 today, and in my GM mode, my first hire was John Cena, who I then put in several matches and induced him to lose every single one of them to Xavier Woods, who you may not know, but he's a member of the New
The
World.
New Day.
New Day.
Yeah.
He's the one who comes out in the bootios dressed like Super Saiyans and shit.
Yeah.
And I think he's also in a tabletop RPGs as well.
He is. Yeah.
And a
He's
pro
actually
gamer.
he's on G4. He's a host on G4.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was thrilled to have Xavier Woods beat his little skinny ass over and over again. Fuck you, John Cena. And I got some other guy whose only gimmick appears to be wears an American flag cap or something like that. I don't know. He's like really famous, I guess. He's a top draft pick, but I was just like, all right. So his deal is he's got an American flag. Got it.
Have you hired some jobbers yet?
But John Cena.
Yes, I've hired this WWE superstar to be the jobber for my organization.
He was like, damn, bro, let me send you an email. I'm so upset I got run in on in my last match. Can you make sure that it doesn't happen again? And I was like, sorry. I'm gonna do it again.
Well, what's funnier is when they message you after you've intervened
Personally,
on the other side's behalf. It's like, so what happened today? I got into my boss decided to come out and king hit me. Thanks.
Actually, now that you mention it, I am reading I don't know what you call it. It's like, I just call them all isekai though, because, I went back in time and I have a chance to redo things. I don't know if they have a title for that, but
yeah, you can loosely call it isekai. Hit me with it. What do you got?
It is a wrestling isekai in the WWE or the rookie league for the WWE. It's like, I forget what that one's called. The
NXT.
WWC, NXT or something. I don't know, whatever. And it's got all like the big names in it, like Son Cena, like.
I was gonna say, how can this be legal? But yes, there it is. That's how it's legal.
Oh god, and it's so dumb. It's like, hey, I've become friends with everyone. Haha. I am the best wrestler. It is the dumbest fucking wish fulfillment thing I've ever read in my life. But then again, I'm just like, yeah, that's just wrestling. Like,
oh, Dave, please. I remember every single day I wake up and think that there is a president of the United States who is a heavyweight champion of the WWE. I remember that every single day, that's how far we've fallen. That a professional entertainer was president of the United States for 4 extremely long years.
What about Ronald Reagan?
You think Ronald Reagan was a WWE superstar?
No, I mean, you said entertainer.
He's a B-rated actor.
Is that him?
hey, he was in Futurama, and Futurama was really good. Okay.
He was dead when
mean Richard
Futurama
Nixon?
came out.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Richard Nixon.
Was
Sorry, that's
also
Richard.
dead when Futurama came out.
Yes.
That's the joke. Oh my god. Okay. But he was a head inside of a thing. It's fine.
Yeah, he
Don't
was
worry about it.
definitely, Richard Nixon was definitely in Futurama as a head inside of a thing. Just not the real Richard Nixon. Look, sometimes they get people to voice themselves in things. Joe Biden voiced Joe Biden on Parks and Rec.
What? Really?
Yeah. Never mind. Joke's not that
It's like
good.
that. It's like that Simpsons joke of what's Tom Hanks representing the government in
Yeah.
the PSA because they have no more.
Yeah, their credibility shot
Credibility.
right now, so they're borrowing some of mine.
And then he did it in real life.
Yeah.
Do you think he like remembered that line that he said in the Simpsons?
I doubt it. Or if he did, he did that whole just because. They probably went up to him and say, "Hey, can you do this for us?" Back of his mind is like, "It's gone full circle. I see."
Mm.
Yep. All right. Other than that, I have a special episode of Oath of Endosteel tomorrow, which means that the regular public, the non-Patreon public, will get it in a week on Easter Day. And I had a very exhausting Solaris Nights episode. Has it really only been a week since then? It feels like it's been so much longer since then. I had to spend all week recovering from spending a lot of time with James.
I've traveled 10,000 miles since then, so.
I had to listen. I was worried about like legs swelling after playing so much with you. I've spent all week just like moving around, doing squats and stuff.
Divinity based DVT.
Oh yeah, oof. I don't want it. I don't want it at all.
Are you guys skipping the audio
Do
for
what?
the cutscenes?
For what
in
cutscenes?
Divinity?
Yeah.
The full edition or whatever it is has like fully voice acted lines and shit in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
it's like they're like those sort of just plate style static images with voiceover for the.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, James
see,
skips
yeah.
over him. So if you listen in on his, you have to read as fast as he does, and he reads about 10% faster than I do. So I lose like the last word or two, but that's fine. I get most of
So
it.
how do you? Okay, so
No,
I
no.
remember
Listen, here's the
playing-
real problem with Divinity is that James and I will go on quests in 2 different directions, and we have
Yeah.
to meet up and tell each other the plots that happened. I'm
That's just
yeah,
like
this
real
is-
life. That's just real life. It's like, what'd you do today? I saved a cat. Yeah,
I fucking bugged a cat and a dog from loving their master.
It's a good thing we've got the pyramids too, because half the time it's like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. Okay, anyone's going to teleport to you.
Yeah, but
that's
that was a classic Divinity Original Sin 1 thing. When you could only play with 2 people, you definitely needed the pyramid for the other person to just leap to you.
Plus, you could teleport it inside of a room
Yeah.
with the
yeah.
magic telekinesis and then teleport to it.
I forgot
game
that
was-
telekinesis could be used to pick up objects. I died to the death fog so many times. I kept trying to teleport someone out there to pick something up, and then I like read a guide. They were like, "Yeah, it's really easy. You just you pick the object up and teleport it to you." And I was like, "Oh
Do you have,
boy, I
do you have
forgot you
someone
could do
undead
that."
with you? If you have someone
yeah.
undead with you, they can just ignore it and go through it.
You have someone on what?
Undead.
Undead.
So like Fane?
In death fog?
Yeah. They're already dead.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I think it's just poison damage. I thought, right?
It's
no,
instant
it's a
death.
Oh,
if you're
instant
living.
death. Oh.
My God, I'm gonna
No,
test
undead
that out
can just
next
walk
time we
through it.
get near death fog.
The other question I had was like, at least how I remember it, you can kind of vote or like you choose what answer it is, and then the game decides which choice is selected or something.
no.
like that, or-
That's Star
No,
Wars: The Old
Like
Republic.
Star Wars Republic, yeah.
I think that was the idea for it though.
That was so
at some
fucking cool,
point.
though.
Like if you pick 2 different options, right, and then the game just goes, "I'm just gonna pick
No,
this one."
whoever started the conversation controls the conversation of the original too. You
Pretty
can
much.
listen to it, but you
That's
can't.
why sometimes we're like, all right, I'm exiting out. I'm gonna let you do this one.
Yeah, well, and because like certain characters will have different
Voice lines.
voice lines
Yeah.
depending on who
Look,
talks to them.
Arthur has certainly told me that there's 2 different games here. There's Divinity Original Sin 2 and there's Divinity Original Sin 2 with Pet Pal. And they are 2 different games.
Yes.
They
So
are,
James
yes.
goes, stay in your lane, talk to the animals, while he goes and talks to all the important NPCs. So he's over here talking to a dude named Gawain, and I'm talking to a cat named Pickles.
Yeah. Who's going, hey, give me that fish from the table up there.
It turns out some animals are just dicks too. Like I was saying, what did the rat say to you? I was like, oh, he told me I smelled. That was it.
Yeah, you told me to fuck off. Like,
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. Some are like
It's always worth it, though.
hyper-intelligent.
It's always worth one talent
Oh,
point
yeah.
to have someone pick a Pet Pal.
yeah.
Yes.
It always pays off. All right.
My starting character is telekinesis and Pet Pal.
Yeah, that's good. It's pretty good. All right, let's talk about you, Henley. What do you got?
So I did a game jam and I made a tower defense game, kind of like Orcs Must Die 3. Like, you can literally walk around and like rip shit off the shelves and like build barricades and stuff like that. It's kind of neat. It's we're just kind of like struggling in which direction we want to take it, because like I'm not much of I've been making games all of my life, right? But when it comes to the adult scene, I know very little about the wants and needs of the clientele that I have. So I have like consultants and stuff like that. So there's always like a water and oil kind of situation a little bit, in that I want to do what's cost effective to build a game. in a lot of cases, right? Like, so, you know, if we have all these assets, I want to use these assets. But in a lot of cases, when it comes to building the AO stuff, you need to focus on, you know, building the AO stuff. And that can kind of run counter to what is essentially building a good game for what you understand an audience to want, right? So right now we're just kind of deciding where we want to take this thing, and it's like a lot of really heated discussions and conversations and stuff like that. I did post some images in the private chat we have here on Discord.
I mean, cast chat, yeah.
Yeah, cast
It
chat.
sounds
yeah.
worse when you say private chat.
Well, I mean, it's private. I posted some images of like what my next game kind of looks like, and that's sort of coming together. We're like maybe one character away from having like a full-fledged demo, and then we got to make some animated scenes for the adult stuff. But all in all, I think like the presentation of that whole thing has come together quite nicely, and it's like it's really strange. It's really strange to work on something that actually comes together so coherently, because for a while there we were deciding we were going to go from 2D assets to 3D assets, and that was a bit of like point of contention whether or not it'd be worth it. But in the end, it sort of all came together quite nicely, I think. So
I was trying to
I don't
follow
know.
the chops and changes in the conversation there, but can you just verify, did you write an adults-only tower defense game?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
I want to say at the start of this conversation, I smiled and laughed privately. I wanted to let people know I was not laughing at Henley. I take his job very seriously, and I respect his chops. I was laughing because
I assumed you were laughing at me.
No. I was laughing because one of your viewers is Lawson. That's how he found my channel. When he told me that a couple weeks ago, I was like, everything makes sense now. Now I understand why you are who you are. And I think that we're going to do an FGO Smash or Pass this week. And by that, I
Nice.
mean, we'll record it. And then I'll see if I lack enough shame to publish the video.
Amazing.
So I went in a different direction because I assume if he's not one of your consultants, he's definitely consultancy material, if you understand what I'm saying.
Look, all I can say is if you gained audience from my content was like, that was like, I didn't give a fuck. Like,
I know.
like my role-playing games were just like, look, I actually had to tell people when they came in, it's like, look, I don't care. Like we're gonna talk about everything on the stream. Like and I had this rule, right? Because I had people come onto my stream before and be like, "Oh yeah, I want to seduce this god." I'm like, okay,
Go ahead.
try it. Don't like there's not just.
I don't
it's
know
not
how to
just
do
like,
that, Dave. Let me just roll.
No.
Listen,
You
my
have to-
game
you have
in
to
real
do it.
life
Like,
is so bad. Let me just roll for this one, please, God.
But there was a couple of scenes. I do remember this one. It's like Peachy Pixel was like, "Oh man, yeah, I'm playing a female character, so I'm gonna use my body to get what I want." I'm like, okay, this is not going to turn out the way you want it to, because that's fucking disgusting. So, if Lawson came over and he was like, "Yeah, I came from Henley's stuff and I found you," I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, Arthur." There's probably more
You
people
don't have
like
to
that
apologize
too.
for it. Again, Dave, I may not play those type of games. I don't actually I've tried to play them. I don't really understand them, but I respect the hustle. Because I see how much work you put into things, because I've been working with you for a long ass time. Listen, bro, back in the day, there were like 10 people doing tabletop RPG streams, and you messaged 9 of them and you didn't get shit. And I was like, hey man, I don't know, you want to like promote each other? And you were like, fuck promoting each other. Let's do a stream together, bro. And I was like, that's it. Let's do it. We're friends for life now.
I do remember that. Yeah, it was. That's how we met, actually.
Yeah. It's a long time ago. And so much has happened since then.
I think there was like, what, There was like Bubba Knot. There was.
Are you talking about Campaigners Guild again? Ugh.
No, just like the main
Koibu,
ones. Koibu.
Hit Me JP.
He was the big one. He was the big one for sure.
Yeah, and Koibu. Yeah, for sure. Dawnforge Cast was still broadcasting back then.
There was also Encounter Roleplay.
They came later than us. They didn't start until we'd been going for like a year or two.
There's Bubba Knot. It was kind of big at that point. He wasn't huge, but he was kind of big.
Still basically the same size now in terms of viewership. Yeah.
And then Eric. I don't know if Eric was around at that point, but he might have been. I don't know.
I don't think he was broadcasting yet, but he was definitely part of like game design discussions.
Anyway, I mean, there was so little people that Twitch actually reached out to like a couple of us at the time, myself included. Oh, Swag.
Oh my god.
He's probably watching right now. Like that's
oh
like
my god.
He randomly shows up every once in a while on Twitch. He's like, "Hey man." Like,
Swargula is the only
Sam, what's
tabletop
up?
RPG broadcaster I know that's done a stream from a shower that's turned on.
I remember he made a fucking soap ad.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's just a fucking wild man. Absolute savage.
Yeah, meeting him, he seems like an interesting character. Yeah.
Yeah, he's it's hard. It's hard to predict what exactly Swargula will do next.
Isn't Swargy the reason that you tried so hard to get Roll20 to shut off the automatic camera connection?
They still haven't done it. You know that, right? They still haven't done it. They actually stopped talking to me as a result of that conversation. I was like, here's some great advice and a use case for why you should do it. And they were like, okay, bye.
They thought you were crazy, probably.
Oh, no, I still remember they sat me down and they were like, okay, do you know how to use Roll20? And I was like, let me tell you about some of these XML options here. Okay. And we're going to configure the character sheet. And they were like, oh, I don't know why we're having this meeting. I'm like, you invited me, man. I don't know why I'm having this meeting.
God, I don't know.
Yeah, after...
I distinctly remember the day that Roll20 reached out to us. I'm like, hey, man, we're making this, like, broadcaster page so you could promote your stuff here on Roll20, and it's going to be updated and everyone's going to use it. We're going to promote it. And
God, remember having hope?
Yeah. Hey man, for a while there, I actually made it because I was like, Twitch reached out and they're like, hey, we want you to be the face of the board gaming section on Twitch when we had the categories. I'm like, all right, I'm in. And dude, it was like I went from 2,000 followers to like 15,000 followers basically within a week.
Yeah, you were front paging.
Right? And I was front paging, I was doing all that shit. And then I remember Twitch reached out and they're like, oh yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to focus on esports. And then they just fucking cut it off and like killed everything. Because the moment that I started getting traction like that, I quit my job and went full time. And then they killed it. And I'm like, oh my God. I struggled for like a year after that. And then I just went, fuck it, I'll make video games again. I don't care. Oh God. Still, I don't know.
It's ironic because they hired so many people from the tabletop RPG community to be Twitch staff and then have basically abandoned it at this point.
When I was living in San Francisco, they wanted to hire me. And I'm like, I don't want to work behind the scenes at Twitch, man. I don't want to do that. Look, I went to their community culture stuff. Awful. Fucking awful. It was so bad. It was based in San Francisco for one, and it was just like so up its own ass. It was just like it's not the place for someone as like brunt as I am, right? Like it was definitely not, like I would have been cancelled if I worked there for sure. Absolutely. What does that say about me, though? I guess, right?
Oh yeah, man. With everything that's come out since then about the Twitch upper administrative staff, it's just absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe you would have been promoted. Intrigue. Who knows, man?
Yeah, listen, if it's anything like the guy who was responsible for sexual assault claims, instead of being canceled, you would have been the head of the people who cancel people.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, I
Fucking
wish that
Trust
was
this
a
man,
joke.
he's infallible.
Yeah.
It's like, what? No, don't trust me. I'm the worst person.
Yeah. I'm the last person you should trust with that. Responsibility. I don't want it.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, what else is going on? Probably keep from getting canceled by Twitch at this point.
Yeah, right.
Amazon's coming for me right now.
So if you want to go check out my new tower defense game, it doesn't have any adult content in it right now, so it's safe to just play or doing whatever. It's called Here They Come with 2 exclamation points. Because it's, you know, double meaning, but still it's,
yeah. No, it's like that's a good name for that game.
yeah. We're still up in the air about what we want to do with it. You know, it's like, but a lot of people really like it, so it's very much like I don't know. It's a very interesting game. We made it in 30 days, so you go check it out. It's not bad.
And is this on Steam?
No, it's on itch. It's on
okay.
itch.
You remind me, I had an experience last week in Chicago. I got an Uber driver, and according to the Uber app, my driver's name was all capitals Seth with 3 exclamation marks. You know, so when he put up, it's like, "Are you James?" I felt like saying, "You know, are you Seth?"
Scream back at him. Hi, Seth.
Wow. That's how you can tell that James is a dad. If you knew nothing else about him and this is the only conversation you'd ever heard.
The only thing I know about fathers outside of being one now is that every father has a compulsion to negotiate prices for everything. Is that true, James? Maybe it's a generational thing.
No, look, I maybe I used to, but like, I think you get to the point where
car shopping. Don't be modest.
When I go car shopping, definitely, like for other shit, like my time is more valuable than any something I might get, you know. So, but yeah, like I mean, last time I bought it, when I bought my wife's car, I got that down from $75,000 to $57,000. So that was a pretty decent reduction.
And see, it's not about the money. It's about James proving his dominance over the used car salesman.
I mean, I don't know if I've told this story before, but this is where pretty much I made the offer, and the guy came back to me and was like, "Look, here's an Excel spreadsheet that shows here's what the car costs, here's what it's going to cost to clean, here's what it's going to cost to register, and if I sell it to the price you want, I'm going to lose this much money." I said, "I'll fix the problem for you," and I changed the wholesale price of the car to $1. So there you go. You're making a lot of money now. Don't show me a spreadsheet. Expect me to believe it's true. I made my offer. You can take it or leave it, and they took it.
It's
like, damn,
I love
he's
this
got us.
story.
Yeah, here's all this data that I've made up.
What was the car?
A Volkswagen Passat R-Line.
So definitely like off the menu, like 100%. Like, yeah, we've made hundreds of thousands of these things. This is like
the R-Line's like the top spec. It's got the GTR's twin turbo supercharged motor in it, so it's like a little
That Honda VTEC.
Yeah, it's like a little hatch, like a hot hatch stuck in a station wagon's body.
Hot hatch. I know what that is now.
Yeah,
Gran Turismo beat that shit into me.
Yeah.
Every 3 seconds,
car,
they're like, "Hey, did we tell you about hot hatches?" And I'm like, "Yes, 3 times."
Yeah, she's got a family station wagon that can pull 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds.
Oh
Wow.
shit, that's good enough for Paul Walker to give it to Vin Diesel because he never did. All right, Spoon, let's talk about you and Ratosaurus time.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to a dinner tonight with a friend of mine, and was a little late coming back to the show. So, but I had crab legs and they were delicious. So it's well worth it. Well worth it. But let's see.
Did you say crab legs?
Yeah, correct. Like steamed crab legs. Yep.
Don't they have like really little legs other than like the claws? I mean, I'm just thinking what
Depends on the
crabs
crab.
look to me.
Yeah,
it
so
depends
they're
on the crab.
like
We're
yeah,
Americans. We have
like, yeah,
crabs.
they're
with,
like
their
they're
legs
like,
are as big as ours.
a good sized snow crab is like, you know, it would fit between, and so the legs are like.
And I'm hoping they didn't just throw the rest of it away. I'm hoping like the rest of it got served to somebody as well, not just like the legs to you and the rest is just junk.
Well, yeah, it's like the legs and like the outside quarters of the body, basically.
Yeah, like
Because
$12 a pound.
all
They're
the
not
middle,
throwing
all
that
the middle
away.
is the all the middle is the guts, where basically. So it's basically everything but the guts.
It's all going in crab boil, bro. It's all going in the crab boil.
I finished watching The Last Kingdom, which is this is the last season of The Last Kingdom, but then there's going to be apparently a follow-up movie also produced by Netflix.
The Attack on Titan method. Yes, I've heard of it.
Yes, of course, yes. But it was good. It was a The Last Kingdom has been one of my favorite shows for the last like 5 or 6 years. And it's been it was a good final season for the show. I really enjoyed it. I think it was one of the better seasons of the show. So
Can you just give me like a quick elevator pitch in this? Because I'm in the middle of like trying to find stuff to watch.
sure. So it's early medieval England. The story follows the life of this guy named Uhtred, who was born a Saxon and then captured and raised by Danes. So he lives a life with one foot in each culture, and he has to make his way through the politics of the rising of the Kingdom of England.
J.R.R.
it's like-
Tolkien would like to know your position.
So it's politics then? Is that what it is?
Yeah, like politics.
Yeah, politics at the
war.
point of an axe.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fighting. Like, there's a lot of, I've been working for this person. I also have these goals that I want to pursue because Uhtred is the son of a Northumbrian lord that gets captured and taken prisoner and raised by these Danes as a member of their family. It's a really good show. Like I would highly recommend it.
Okay.
So
I'll give it a go. I recently found I've fallen down a hole of like Korean Netflix shows.
So let me say, Dave, so this week, because my wife and I have got like 5 different shows we're currently watching, and we're trying to remember like where we're up to with each show. And I thought there must be like a website or an app where you can track where you're up to with each show. And I came across a free app. It's on Google and iOS called TV Time.
Okay.
And you can, sure enough, put in the episodes, what you're watching, keep up track where you're up to it. It reminds you when new episodes come out. But it also gives you recommendations for shows based upon things you've previously watched and liked. And it'll tell you what stream platforms have it on in your country as well. And I've actually, like, it's for a free app, it's fantastic. Because obviously they get their money from the show creators or from the streaming services to basically advertise their services. I couldn't find anywhere I could put money into the app as a user. So I definitely recommend TV Time.
Big data. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I like it's, and I don't think I have the patience to culture my own
to cultivate your own algorithm.
right. You know what I mean? Like what would I put in there? Like, oh, I've seen every, like all the TV shows that I like. I don't know. It's so weird.
Crunchyroll is
really
the actual
wish-
worst at this.
Was that Crunchyroll?
Crunchyroll's the worst at it.
So is
Every time
Netflix,
I
man.
watch
Like,
something on Crunchyroll, they're like, here are 5 shows like this show that you'd like. And I'm like, I've seen all 5 of these. They're nothing like this show. And I hated all of them. And you know that because I fucking removed all of them from my watch list and gave them 1 star.
Yeah, no, that's how Netflix is too. Like it's like, so a long time ago, like a couple months ago, I read this manga called Sweet Home, which is like this short, like maybe 30 chapter sort of manga about like some weird zombie apocalypse, right? And the fucking Korean Netflix guys made it into a show, and it's insane. Not in a good way. like the Korean Netflix shows are literally just like, what's the most disgusting, gory shit that we could possibly do? Let's do it.
Dude, they go hard, man. They go
They
hard.
go really fucking hard.
They speed run storylines and K-dramas as well. They're literally just, you get a whole season of something like Succession in a single pilot episode of a K-drama.
Yeah, and then the, like all the gore stuff as well. Like most American shows or whatever, they tend to not put like minors in like anywhere near horror or whatever.
Sure, we have laws against that though, so.
And then the Koreans is like, fuck it, man. Newborn babies, put them in there. Who cares? But it's like, it's horror. It's entertainment, you know? Like, it's not a...
I think what a lot of people consider horror and what I consider horror are very different.
Unsettling imagery.
A lot of it isn't really that. I've seen some real fucking shit in my life. What people consider unsettling jump scares and shit, or like Five Nights at Freddy's. I see like, like a fucking panda jumps up on screen and people are like, oh my god, my whole life is over. And I'm just sitting here going, wow, that was really not scary. Jessica Jones was scary.
Because of the mind control stuff?
Yeah, because of the mind, because the tension on that show was at 100% all the time, and it was never really clear whether she would walk around the corner and he would be there. Because every time you saw him, he somehow became even worse. Because he's the least happy person in the world, and he would do anything to be happy. That existential horror, that's actually scary for me. Not, oh, look at me, I'm Freddy, I'm blah, 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 my eyes popping out, whoa, whoa. I'm like, no.
So body horror ain't doing it for you.
Subnautica, crossing a large body of water with no clear reefing nearby while looking down. That's horror.
Into the shadows.
Okay, hey Pete, let me point you to a game to try out. It's a cheap game, Actions, and stuck into this submarine to try and explore the bottom of this ocean. And because of the pressure, they've had to weld the window shut, so you've got no external view. All you've got is a map of what the area is supposed to be like, a radar to detect if you're close to things, and then the ability to rotate the sub on the spot or go forward or backwards. And then you've got a still camera you can use to get still shots of what's directly in front of the submarine. And the idea is that you've got to navigate to certain points in the ocean and photograph certain things. But you're not alone is the whole thing. But yeah, you've got no concept of what's outside the sub except for the occasional still photographs, you got grainy photographs you get.
It's also made by the Dust guy, which is crazy.
Soma. The ending of Soma. Now that's scary.
Oh yeah.
What? No, that was a fucking joke. Are you kidding me, Arthur?
The existential horror part.
The existential horror. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, to be left behind.
I think about that every time people are like, "Yeah, we'll upload our minds to the to the internet," and I'm sitting here and going, "Yeah, but your husk is still gonna die."
Yeah, but like, so
you'll
the thing
still
is,
experience the pain and terror of death.
Okay, I played that game and I was like, it's literally going to happen. The ending is going to be exactly what you think it's going to be.
Yeah, but
so
coming to terms with that is the horror.
No, the horror. The guy was so fucking like dense about it that it's just like you have like the only way a protagonist can exist in this game is if he's stupid as fuck. And he was.
That's also the horror genre, though. You're sitting there in your seat just going, no, not go through that fucking door, you idiot.
At least with most horror,
I heard a noise outside. We should split up and find out more information.
No. At least with most horror, Arthur, curiosity is the thing that drives a lot of the stupidity. But in Soma, his like I'm gonna save myself mentality, and then at the end he's just like, oh, I don't know. It's like the gif of the guy opening up the paper bag that says "dead dove inside, do not eat," and he opens it up and he's like, I don't know what I was expecting, right? Like,
Was it a dead dove? I don't know what the skip is, but
you've never seen. Okay, hang on.
Sounded
I
literal.
will. It's from a comedy show. Hang
all
on.
right. Let me jump back though, because I know that James, like me, is thassalophobic. So if he is offering Iron Lung to me, is it just not that bad for you, or it was that bad for you? And you?
No. It's not the same. It won't trigger the thalassophobia in the same way that like Subnautica does. But if you want to trigger, so for both thalassophobia and mechanophobia, which I also have, a game called
I don't want to though.
Anemia Polis.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's a liminal space horror game. So there's no jump scares, there's no actual horror, except for the fact that it triggers both submechanophobia and thalassophobia. In fact, some people that don't have those call the game extremely relaxing. But for me, it's just like, no.
What
is
is
like
that first
fuel.
one?
Submechanophobia.
You're afraid of
So, like,
submechanics. I mean, I also am afraid of submechanics. They're typically military trained, so you never know whether they could be a killer or not.
So things like man-made constructions underwater as well. So things like
I'm afraid of man-made constructions on land that are higher than 3 stories.
So looking at the underside of a ship, for example.
Yeah.
So once again, these are all rational fears. So there's no.
No, that's a
mean like
really
rational
rational
trigger?
fear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be honest with you. I've seen engineers before. I've lived among them.
So,
Being afraid of
James,
something constructed by man is really reasonable.
So are you saying like the idea that you're under the water looking up at a ship going past you? Is that what you mean?
He's
Or,
afraid
like-
of things like those hotels that are entirely underwater and made of glass. So like you just look around at the reef around you and there's like you can barely see the sun above you.
So you're talking like those big towers where like all you can see is like the skyline sort of thing? Like are those the sorts of things that you're afraid of too? Or
No, I mean things like
the revolving like restaurant shit?
So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna drop a picture into our private chat.
Oh my god!
That is a classic example of like a.
Just say it's the cast chat. You guys are making it sound so bad.
Come on, you literally just like, guys, we're gonna go touch each other's faces in our private game later
So
today.
the secret.
You know, like-
I see what you mean.
So that would be a trigger image for me, for example.
Yeah, doesn't look great.
I see what you mean.
You know, I just have claustrophobia. That's all I have. That's a traditional basic fish to me. Like literally, you see like a small cave or like a dude crawling through like a cave hole, and you're like, yeah.
It's really interesting
that.
because overall babies don't have claustrophobia. It's a learned behavior.
You know, actually, it's kind of annoying because like when I see my baby get put into like tight clothing, I'm just like,
they love being swaddled, bro.
I'm just like, nope. I fucking hate the idea of
Cats
this.
like
I'm
it
gonna
too.
walk
Cats
away.
love being squished.
I can't stand it. Like you put her in like a swaddle thing, and I'm just like, nope, fuck this shit.
It's because they're still like flexible enough to be able to like enjoy that feeling. Whereas as you get older, your muscles get stiffer and your bones get stiffer and you're less flexible, and so you get stuck in those places.
I've been claustrophobic since as I was a kid. You know, like it's Wait, how did we get on this fucking topic?
Chat, you got to calm down. All right. I would not intentionally put underwater structure content in a game with James just because I know he's afraid of it. And I would hope that my friends would not put Killgrave in a game that I'm in. Or engineers in general. There's a cluster of engineers around the corner. I'm like, oh god, they're not coming in.
So interestingly for me, no problem with role playing in this content role playing games, but computer games, I don't like underwater levels of computer games. For example.
Yeah, fuck that. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
It's when like the thing about the video. I know what it is with the video game stuff because I've had to make a few levels like this before. I actually I made a game specifically to alleviate my fear of the underwater ocean, and it didn't do anything. Okay. You might know of a game called Depth. It's a shark combat simulator
It's a
game.
good game. So that's a great game.
It's like a raft, but without a raft.
So myself and the game designer, like the main guy that made it, we actually went shark diving together just to like, get an idea of whether or not this was the good shit. And James, you might have done it. Have you gone great white shark diving in Australia? No. You should definitely do it. I come from a small town, bottom of South Australia, where they have great white sharks fucking everywhere. So we went out and we had like these big 6-meter sharks like swimming around us, sort of thing. And what pissed me off about video games is that they make sounds in video games, but in real life they're silent. Like they're just like, "Yep, I'm here now. Get fucked." So I can honestly tell you, it didn't help my fear of the water to like make it or even participate in it. It was, I even hate making like you can make like an Unreal Engine level, like just completely empty with just water and just like really deep water. And I hate just being in that environment as well. But in real life, I don't give a shit. Like I can swim in the ocean. It doesn't bother me, right? But like in the video games, it just gets me for some reason. So I know how you feel, James. That's
Well, I have to tell you that in real life, you're normally surrounded by a few thousand tons of machinery and lifeboats and people with spears and firearms. Or just, environment killing oil.
Did you finish Subnautica, James?
No, I didn't play it.
He watched me play it.
Yep.
Did you finish it, Arthur?
I finished the first Subnautica. I'm basically abandoning Below Zero. It's so different.
I heard that the guy talks too much in that.
Your character talks as a woman.
I thought we were a dude in that one.
No.
The second one takes place sometime after the first one.
Yeah, you're a different character.
No, but like the trailer for Sub-Zero is like an old dude.
No, you're definitely a African American woman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. I'm probably never gonna play it. But like Subnautica didn't really trigger anything for me, surprisingly. Like even though it's literally a game about like enormous
small
monsters.
island in the bottom leftish area, and you're just sailing over nothingness for a while.
No, I never actually had any problems with that. I think maybe my encounters in that game weren't so like threatening. Like I never really ran into anything, so it was like
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoon, how's your intro going, by the way?
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Pretty good.
It's not just your fault. We're all pulling it away.
Yeah. It's the only fear that I suffer from is claustrophobia.
I was gonna say fear of death and taxes. Yeah,
bit,
me too.
Yeah.
So when you think of a small cave, do you get like? Are you
So
pissed off
that's the thing. That's the thing is like I've been like spelunking before. Like I've crawled through those caves before, and like I don't know when I developed it, because it must have been sometime between then and now. Because a few years back I went back out to Colorado and my friends were like, "Hey, let's go spelunking," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, we'll go out there." And the cave that they took me to was one where it's like there's like a little hole and you have to like wiggle your and like I got to like armpit high, and then I went, "Nope, I'm good. I'll be out here. You guys go ahead." And crawl back out.
You're literally fucking with me right now by saying shit like that. Like, oh god.
Yep. So don't do that anymore. But yeah, that was pretty much it for me. And I was going to mention I've also been watching the 4th season of Young Justice on HBO. I think it's like Max or Go or whatever their service is now. It's been interesting. I've like that's another show I followed for a long time and really enjoy. So, and the DC animated stuff is all really, really good.
I heard that there was a new TV show coming out about DC. It's like about their pets or some shit.
It's a movie.
coming out.
Yeah, it's a movie that's coming out with.
It has
And it
Keanu
has-
Reeves as Batman, which is interesting.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, that's so weird. That's such a
Yeah, it's a really strange premise, I think, for a
I think it's
Is
meant
it-
to be just a play fun movie, so it's not
Yeah.
meant to be taken seriously.
Is Batman's pet just literally Robin? Is this
No,
Oh my God.
no. In
No,
the
it's
trailer, they have the dog. I think it's like
I think is it Kevin
Is it
Hart
Boxer or
voices
something?
that voices the dog.
I don't remember. But yeah, it's pretty much his dog explaining how it has a dark past, while Keanu Reeves playing as Batman explaining he has a dark past,
Mm-hmm.
and then he just gives up and goes to start licking Batman in the face.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, Spoon, you got anything else? I want to
Nope,
follow
that's
up
it.
with Pondo then about this.
About which part exactly?
Top 10 fears, Pondo. I guess we're all just sharing them. You
Um,
don't have to share them on a live stream that will be recorded forever. But if you got any,
What are you gonna do? Smush me in a small hole? Bring it on, internet.
So I don't know if I have like I guess I could call it a fear of falling. So I'm not really afraid of heights. I'm more so afraid of the possibility I'm going to fall, which I guess could be. I don't know if
That's
you.
Do you have
reasonable.
like a super whacked center of like when you look up? Do you get like that vertigo
so small.
thing?
No, it's when I look down, or if I like. So the other day I had to go. Not the other day, but a couple months ago, I had to go climb up a ladder, get on my roof for a reason. And when I climb up, I don't have a problem climbing up the ladder. It's trying to get back down from the roof on the ladder. And if I feel like just a slight like nudge, like it's not 100% steady, just because you're at the very top, no one's holding it there at the bottom. I get a little nervous. I don't know if I have claustrophobia, but I definitely, there's certain times where I do not feel comfortable in a tight space just because I'm a big dude.
Yeah, my claustrophobia is so bad, like I can't even wear jackets sometimes.
That's pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like it'll be like fucking -20 outside, and they'll be like, "Here, put on this jacket." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good, thank you."
Is everybody familiar with Call of the Void? Does anyone know what Call of the Void is?
Yes.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, so it's the scientific expression that explains the people imagine, like when you're in a high space, what it would be like to fall off. You know.
Is that the one where your brain's like, just jump?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's
Okay,
it's a biological component of understanding your own mortality. And about 50% of people experience it apparently.
I don't have that problem. No, I have the opposite. We're like, no, it's going to hurt.
No, I definitely have that for sure, 100%. Like I'll be looking over and like, yeah, why not? You know, like, but then I'm just like, nah, nah, I'm good. Not today, cliff face.
I can't call anything else because I don't know like the scientific names or anything, but there's definitely been situations where I'm like, no, not doing that. No. Like
Well,
if the
what's
area is
been
real
going on
shady,
with you?
like what else is going on with me?
yeah.
Nothing a whole lot as of late. Played quite a bit of Divinity by myself.
I
Try to
saw
play
Cotton playing. Don't say you play by yourself.
Well, we attempted to earlier today, but then the child woke up, and I was trying to use my patented play with one hand mode. It wasn't working out because she was climbing over on top of me, trying to grab everything.
Tell me more.
So,
yeah, Dave's company specializes in play with one hand mode.
yeah.
You misunderstood. I have an infant daughter, Arthur Perkins.
No, my
I
joke
too
was,
would like
was
to play
funny.
video games.
Yes. So in Divinity, I set up I have I'll call it the MMO mouse, where it has like the 10 buttons on the side. So it's
Ooh. Okay.
So-
Yeah. All right. I can
So I've
see
set
that.
it up to where I could like open up the prop, look at everything, use the Wazat to look around.
So you're literally using your thumb to WASD around, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Holy shit, my
It's
dude.
trackball, motherfucker.
Because with Divinity, you can pretty much control everything you need to with your mouse. Sure, some processes would be easier if you use your keyboard, but you know.
Remember when the U.S. Army thought that all helicopters should be flown by trackball? No. Okay.
I mean, they did in Battlefield, so
Oh my God, Battlefield. Yeah, very realistic. And let's see how the Russian invasion in the United States goes.
All right, as someone who knows how to fly a helicopter, I'm trying to work out the mechanics of that. Like what?
I don't know.
Listen, man, I stopped questioning the way people design things a long time ago.
Those engineers at it again.
Someone had a dumb idea. I was like, hey, let's try this. Oh, it didn't work out. Okay. We're just going to drop that now.
Yeah.
Oh, that happens all the time in weapons
Absolutely.
development.
Yeah.
Oh, we have this idea. Tried it. Turns out it was super fucking dumb.
What was the Gyrojet? God, you remember that? That was supposed to be the future of the United States basic infantry rifle.
Oh God, what was the Sabo Dart one?
Oh, I mean, tanks still use that stuff.
Well, yeah, but
they were trying to scale it down for infantry. Yeah,
and it was like literally like it was like it looked like a lawn dart, like the ammunition did.
Are you talking about the one that you shoot underwater?
no,
Because there's one that does that.
no, it was just like a penetrator round.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
okay.
get that shit for shotguns and such.
All right. Some reason I'm thinking while you're describing that and the G13 or whatever, the where it uses the caseless ammunition.
Caseless is so weird.
It's a weird concept, but it also, it kind of
Like
makes
a
sense at the same
boneless
time.
chicken wing.
Oh, I see you've met America.
Yeah.
Boneless wing. Oh, amazing. You know, Spoon, I wanted to ask you, while you were in those caves that you were spelunking in, by the way, did you ever see shadows on the wall and think that that was the entirety of the universe?
What?
It's a really old philosophy question.
Yeah, it's
He was
the
not
cave.
stoned at the time, sir. No.
Yeah, no.
That's okay. The wisdom of the
no,
Greeks goes
I did
way
not.
above.
I did not.
There are some famous caves about 2 hours drive from Sydney called Jenolan Caves that you can go to and explore. And I remember when I went there many years ago. One of the interesting cave features is a cave where there was an accidental explosion while they were exploring the cave that killed 2 people, and it's one of those ones where their shadows were scorched onto the wall by the explosion.
Oh,
Yikes.
great.
All right, well, I was talking about the allegories of Plato, the Greek philosopher, not the horrifying stories of cave explosion fires.
So the dart gun that I was talking about it's the spew, which is the special purpose individual weapon. It was.
They really tried to spell spew really hard there.
Yeah. It was a this thing called Project Salvo, which was supposed to replace the M16. Turns out they don't work very well.
I mean, they've been trying to replace the M16 since Vietnam, so
Yeah.
the M4 maybe would like to have a word, but other than that,
Well, the
I
M4
like
comes
the
after.
I
the
know.
OICW project. That was another one that tried to replace the M16. That's the one that had the air bursting fragmentation grenade launcher, where you could like laze
No,
the
that's my
target.
favorite. I love that shit. Sorry, I'm a fan of Jagged Alliance 2 1.13, and that is an amazing weapon.
Yeah, so you just like laze a bunker, work out it's 600 feet, and then just set the explosive to go after 605 feet and fire it to the window.
That is a cool concept that is hard to execute. Or is worth more than what it is to do it. Or
Yeah, look, I think most
Well,
of
when
these
you
things fail
really need
because-
somebody to fragment a grenade over people's heads, you probably think it's worth just about enough. You know what they said? A air-bursting grenade in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
It's not that it's worth it's an expensive concept that can easily be broken.
An
on the field.
expensive concept. We used to put sniper towers on Humvees that would tell us what direction the shot was coming from, but it took like 10 solid seconds to do the math. And by that time, everyone had hit the ground, was screaming at each other, and was shooting. No one could hear it go, southwest, 100 meters.
Yeah.
Expensive concept. That thing was like $1 million. It was totally worthless.
And that's why all these M16 replacements fails, because they end up with a rifle that costs $1 million per soldier.
Yes.
Don't worry, the Navy will probably work on handheld railguns or some shit like that.
Just give me a pistol that shoots a hot scrape of lead. You know, you put a solid block of lead in the bottom.
Mass Effect guns.
Yeah,
you're talking about
flechette guns. Yeah. So it's like that's yeah.
That's what we need. Either that or a gun
Tanks
that
do
like
that shit.
forms an icicle and then shoots it at someone.
We have the icicle weapons. That's the classic D&D weapon for ice demons. Is a mercury sword. So when it slashes you and it starts to thaw, it turns poisonous in your bloodstream.
That's actually pretty sick.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
mind
the
that idea.
AD&D way of DMs being huge dicks. Plus, you don't get any loot at the end because it's just a sword made out of mercury.
Yeah, which you can't use because
it becomes a pool.
your body heat fucks it up. Yep.
Oh, listen, man. I've seen a lot of really dickish DM shit. I guess you got to do what you can when people are like, I developed an arrow that's a bag of holding.
Yeah. I've developed this nuclear arrow in D&D where it's when it hits someone, it pushes this portable hole into the bag of holding on the tip and creates an explosion that sends the target to the astral plane.
That's not what that does.
It
erases them from existence.
In 5e, it just opens a portal to the astral plane.
Yeah, that's because 5e is a lot less punishing than carrying Gygax.
Yep.
All right. Well, I mean, listen, I got to talk about Plato, which means next week I'll talk about Carneades and why nothing matters. But until then, we'll have to just play this game. So, James, what's been going on with you?
Oh, look, so other than getting back to Australia this week, which is, a major achievement, I think, and as of Arthur, as of today, I'm officially returning negative COVID tests as well. Nice. Look, I've just really been playing some more WWE 2K22, which I've started now a game with my son, and I'm going to start one tomorrow with a friend of mine who's a major WWE fan, and I've also introduced my son to WWE in the process too. We've watched episodes of SmackDown and Raw, so he understands what it's all about, and he's quite enjoying it. I don't think he's figured out yet that it's entertainment, that it's not real. A couple of times I'll say, why aren't you covering them? You can they're on the ground. Like, stop showboating, pin them. You can win. He gets quite upset when they don't do what he says they should do.
It's okay. That's the perfect age. Ignorance be bliss.
Yeah. I also picked up Star Wars Lego Skywalker Saga yesterday, which I haven't yet installed.
I keep seeing GIFs of this game. I
heard people say it was really good.
Yeah. Like, apparently it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So I actually ended up buying some more storage for my Xbox too, because I've hit my cap. So I installed that yesterday. So now I can actually get Star Wars installed. And then, just playing some Old Republic still, and I finished painting the models I started painting in isolation before I went to America. So I'm going to do another video tonight for my Space Wolf Crusade army, the second to last one, because I'm almost done now. I've just got a tank and a fly to paint, and then I'm done with that. But yeah, that's really, I've been looking forward to getting back into Divinity with Arthur when our calendars align. Probably not quite so much as we played last week, because as Arthur indicated, it was becoming hazardous to our health.
Listen, we're not kids anymore, James. We can't spend 20 hours a day playing Minecraft, making an upside-down pyramid with a full rail system.
my son is not quite yet at the point I can play those sort of games with him. Like, WWE, that's fine, but yeah, Divinity would be a step too far for him. So eventually, I will cultivate a child I can.
I was gonna say, didn't he smack talk my Minecraft playing?
He did.
Okay, good, good. Looking forward to your future. That this is my revenge on the world for what he's done to me.
Yeah, no, definitely he will. I mean, look, and the thing about that my GM mode in WWE is you are playing against each other, and there are things you can do to screw the other player over.
I saw that,
and I did it to him, and he was quite upset that I used veto champ on him. So,
is there ever SmackDown versus Raw moments or like Invasion or?
No, you can. What you can have is where people leave a brand and go to a different brand. They get on a brand, but no.
What am I, Jeff Hardy?
Yeah.
Nothing. Nobody. All right.
No.
At least
I got it.
Spoon kind of laughed. All right.
I'm tertiarily aware of wrestling history.
All right.
I only know about Jeff Hardy because of the Isekai manga.
Look, I do like the fact that this game has wrestlers, like multiple wrestlers that are the same wrestler at different points in their career. So, I can have like Scott Hall versus Razor Marone, even though they're the same person, just different points in their career, that sort of stuff. So.
I was pissed to see that Eddie Guerrero is in the Legends roster. I don't know.
Isn't?
What do you mean?
I mean,
where should he be, Arthur?
Well, he is a legend, but
He's
not a current wrestler for a number of reasons.
Yeah. Listen, here's the thing. I got into wrestling and Eddie Guerrero was the jobber bad guy. And then his storyline flipped and he started on an upward arc of being the good guy, the Familia, right? And then he fucking died. And he was like at the top of his career. He was a goddamn fucking legend at that moment. Yeah. And so every time I see one of these articles that's like Eddie Guerrero is still alive on a beach somewhere, I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. You're the worst tabloid I've ever seen since the last time I saw this story. I feel very defensive about Eddie Guerrero, okay? All right? He was important. He was a cool dude. That's all I got.
Yeah, well, you should play through the Rey Mysterio showcase mode then, because it goes for a lot about his influence on Rey Mysterio.
He seems Rey Mysterio. He looks like he's picked up a huge amount of muscle since earlier in his career.
I actually was going to ask about that because outside of The Rock and Rey Mysterio, I know personally no other like
Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Those are like
the
more
Hitman
memes.
Those
are more
Trump.
like, yeah. Those are more memes to me than they are like people with wrestling.
So there are a couple of YouTube channels that do actually a really good job of like covering the history of wrestling. I can't remember.
I'm not going to sit through a lecture on wrestling, man.
Yeah. But
you can watch Wrestling Isn't Wrestling if you want a 30-minute video on the history of Triple H and why he's the most important wrestler in the history of wrestling.
Nah,
it was pretty good. Okay. It's actually it's really good.
You mean Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
He may once have been known by that name. It's been a very, very long time.
Yes, it has.
Enough that if I go into Legends mode, I bet you Hunter Hearst Helmsley is not a legend if Triple H is.
Not. Yeah.
Wasn't he Hunter Hearst Helmsley for like 5 seconds?
Yeah, at the very beginning of his career.
He's basically just like, look at me, I'm so educated. He gets his ass beaten. He's like, oh man, I'm grunge now, bro. Oh, suck our D's. Oh, wrestling was really weird back then. Really fucking weird.
Well, I told you if you ever do a one shot of the worldwide wrestling game, I've got my character worked out. Oh. Corporal Punishment.
Corporal Punishment, huh? My wrestling character was the A-Bomb.
The A-Bomb.
Yeah, he's Atomic Pile Driver. Yeah, come on. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was working on a character when you were doing that test or whatever.
You mean electrifying wrestling? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then nobody showed up.
I
I was like,
working
all
on a
right, guys,
character
you've been
'cause I was-
asking me to do a play-by-post for 2 solid years. I will now do one. And it was crickets. Do the cricket thing on your soundboard real quick.
Do I have it still?
I got it. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Here we go.
Hang on. I got you.
Sorry, I think I just saw a box move.
There it is. Found it.
Oh, my God,
Wait,
it's
you
so
did that-
long.
You did that already, Arthur? The play-by-post?
What?
Was that first sound the solid snake seen by guards sound?
It's a legally distinct alert noise.
Who cares
Spoon,
at
you
this
can't
point?
use sound alert redeems on RPG shows.
Oh, my bad.
That's why that message pops up at the start of the stream, is because I don't want people spamming that shit on RPG shows.
Makes sense.
Did you just blow 100
I
bits for no reason?
I forgot that this was an
It
RPG.
wasn't. It's not
I thought
bits.
we were
It's
just hanging
channel
out.
points. Jesus.
Don't worry, James. I've got 194,000.
When you say 100
where that
bits, you're
comes
talking
from.
about a solid $1.
Yeah.
I feel so cheap in my mere 56,462.
Oh
channel
my
points.
God.
Listen, I've watched a lot of AP streams.
Same.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
James,
okay.
let's go back to your.
Okay. Oh look, I've got nothing else. I'm spent.
Well, you want to
All
start?
right, so should we go
the
to break
show?
first before we go?
Yeah.
James told me we weren't going to do a break; that we were just going to do
Well, no,
one.
like I said, I said because this is like the one day my wife is not working, like with like 3 days either side, so I didn't want to go too late tonight, and I said we could either like do like short intros and then like go without a break, or we could do like
Spend an hour and a half
time
talking
after the
about
break.
Yeah.
cave diving.
Yeah, beers and yeah.
All I can say is we're about to start the show and my fucking cup is empty and I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So-
Listen,
All right.
hey, here's the thing. We really are on Ratosaurus time now, huh?
Yeah. Oh wow, we've done the same thing BattleTech did, where we have a first half that's just intros. We
Yeah.
are on Ratosaurus time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh man.
We'll be back for the second half in like 8 to 10 minutes. I don't know. We're on Ratosaurus time. Could be 20. Check in with us when we're here, I guess.
Brings back old times.